Yes. Now, those of you who watched my video, my last video I posted, you probably know why I look this way. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think I might keep this, you know. Anyway, this is a Victorian style, English Victorian. The era is in the 1800s, and it's I've been cast in the show A Christmas Carol by Dickens, and so I'm playing the role of Ebenezer Scrooge. So go check the last video out, and you'll see what it's all about. Okay, now, so have you ever been stuck? And I don't know whether any of you had a chance to message me on that and let me know whether you've been stuck on your voice, but it happens to all of us. And so in the last few videos and live broadcasts, and I've been talking a bit about how do we make more rapid progress. We've been talking about making rapid progress with the voice. Today I'm going to talk about how we can really accelerate that. And the way we do that is, number one, you have to understand your vocal type. But once you know your vocal type, like for example, a very, very large, vast majority of people are full chest, high larynx. Even though they flip in the falsetto, the flip or the flip falsetto is caused by the high larynx and the pulled up chest, because you can only get to a certain point, and it cracks. So we think when you take the vocal test, you might think, oh, well, I'm flip falsetto. But there are some flip falsettos out there, and they sound like, so they're not really pulling, they just let go. But a lot of the flip falsettos are and that's caused by a high larynx and the chest voice being pulled up. So what speeds up our progress is exercises that are tailored specifically for you, for your vocal type. So let's look at the first. I want to talk about I'm not sure we're going to get to all of these, but I'm going to talk about several of these exercises that help you to help counteract what you tend to do when you go to the bridge of the voice. So the vocal type is what you tend to do when you hit the bridge. So me personally, I would just stop because it got so uncomfortable. Or it would crack, or I'd have to go in the falsetto. But you can't sing that way on stage. So I would just stop. I wouldn't go any further, and I didn't see any use for the falsetto because it wasn't powerful enough. So what I tend to do is pull up the chest voice and the larynx, and they together, they combined, I would either stop singing, or I'd yell, or I'd go into falsetto. Now, the exercises that I'm going to show you, many of you are already familiar with. Some of you aren't. So this is the very, very powerful principle behind this, is that what you may think is the end of your voice, or what you may think is some inborn weakness or limitation, is not. It's just that you're at the bridge of the voice and you don't know what to do. I personally thought that was the end of my voice, or the top. And so, and most of the time when we get into trouble, it's because we're pulling chest and the larynx is coming up. So the first exercise, and this is the first exercise in Seth Riggs's book, Singing for the Stars, is bubble lips. Why would something that seemingly that simple and so simplistic be the very first exercise for a singer? Here's the reason why. If I said, Let me see. So what is going to counteract my tendency for the larynx to come up and for me to pull chest? This exercise right here. It's doing several things. First of all, it kind of messes with our brain because how often do we do this? So it takes us out of our thinking. The second thing it does is that behind that is a schwa sound. But if I tried to just sing I'm probably going to panic. And I'm going to spread the vowel. And that's going to reinforce the negative. But if I say I'm experiencing the resonance that's being created. It's going from inside my mouth up behind the soft palate and up into the head cavities here, up above the hard palate, and so all of a sudden now, and because the larynx stays down, the larynx is staying down. What an event that is. I remember doing it for the first time and thinking, what just happened? I know I didn't break, because I know when I break. I can feel that kind of like a yodel kind of feeling. It's a separation, a break in the tone. I can feel that. And when I did that for the first time, I didn't have that experience. And so I knew something just happened. And what had happened was the larynx stayed down, the vocal cords made an adjustment from chest into a head voice configuration, and the resonance went from my mouth and down in my neck and my mouth up into my head and then back down again. Now that's a tremendous an experience that we need to become aware of, because now something has happened. Now I felt something that I'd never felt before, because I knew that I wasn't in falsetto. But what was that then that I just did? I didn't know what head voice was on the first day I attended Seth Riggs' workshop. It's back in October, November of 96, 21 years ago. And so this is extremely powerful, because now you begin to retrain the nervous system. Now you begin to short circuit the bad habits, and this exercise counteracts the tendency of the larynx to go up and of chest voice to be pulled higher, and allows you to create a new neuro pathway, now a new experience. And so for the men, you could start at the G below middle C and go all the way up to the C sharp, which on the top takes you to the A flat above middle C. For the ladies, you would start at middle C, keep going all the way until you get to the F sharp on the bottom, C sharp on the top. Now, be careful when you do that you don't allow the vocal cords, to crack or to break. So if you start to break, or you start to let's go, you want to do a bend. So bend over at the waist while you're doing this. So if you bend, that will take the attitude of reach out, so you're not reaching up like this. And that way you're going to begin to experience this feeling of the resonance shifting into your head, the vocal cords making an appropriate adjustment, and you're going to, and the larynx staying down. So those things combined will begin to give you a new sense, a new emotional, neurological experience to realize that you can go from chest up into your head without pulling up the chest voice, without the larynx rising, without the resonance getting caught and stuck in the mouth and in the chest. Okay, that's the exercise number one. And then there's a second one here that's very, very powerful. And this is the next exercise in the book Singing for the Stars. And he doesn't really call it a bratty neigh, but that's what, I don't think he does, Mr. Riggs. But this is what I call it, bratty neigh. And it sounds like this. For the guys, it would be neigh, 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 neigh. And the real secret to this, everybody, is to do every exercise really, really softly. So if I go up here to where the ladies would be, neigh, 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 neigh. That's to the high C, connected. I didn't go into falsetto, but I'm not pulling up the chest voice. So that little bratty sound, neigh, 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 neigh. I can't tell you how many people have been helped by that exercise. You want to know who it really helps? Many of the teenage boys who are going through puberty. It's a great way to connect their voices because they've lost it. You know, right now they wake up in the morning, they're talking like this, and there's no way they can get through this new bridge in their voice. But with this little bratty exercise, nay, and you can even put a little bit of a, well, just a witchy, it's an exaggerated sound. You wouldn't normally use this in singing. Nay, nay, excuse me. Nay, 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 nay. Now you would use it on that same 5-tone that I described earlier, only with the nay, nay, nays. Now this is an exercise where the larynx comes up a little bit. It's a higher larynx exercise, but it's not so high that I'm losing the connection. In other words, the larynx isn't going up so far that the vocal cords come apart, and I'm not pulling up a weight from the chest. And so it's deeper than falsetto, because I'm not disconnecting in the falsetto, but it's lighter than chest. So it's a tremendously powerful beginning. And that's another thing that reinforces this idea, this feeling inside the body. It counteracts the tendency for the larynx to come up so high, or the chest voice to be pulled so high that you cause a break in the tone. And it's allowing the resonance to shift up into your head. Listen to it again. You can hear it. Starting at the B for men's voices, the women can start here too. Nay, 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 nay. I say on pitch, nay, 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 nay. So it's very, very powerful to be able to start connecting the voice from chest through the bridge into your head voice with this little bratty neigh. And it counteracts the tendency to say, nay, 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 pulling the chest voice up. And having the larynx go up. The resonance to hit the roof of the mouth and splat. All right. Let me just pause for a minute and say hi and see if there's any comments here that we want to address. I just want to thank you for joining me today. And okay, so I did follow Chris Sparks' advice. Chris, thank you. I don't know if you rejoined, but I did reboot my my system, and it seemed to help. Okay, Jennifer says, okay, so anyway, thanks, Jennifer. Okay, let me get back to where everybody is saying, I can see and hear you, Mr. Scrooge. Okay, thank you. So that is from Akajan. Very nice to have you today. Jennifer, thanks for hanging around. Janet, great. Altu, thank you all for staying with us. John Villanova, the John Villanova, thanks for joining us today, John. Adiyashu, Adiyanshu, hi, nice to have you with us today. Subia, hi. Marcelo, great to have you. Kasamar, very nice to have you join us today. Okay, so everybody said go on. All right. So let me see here. Eugene. Okay, Eugene, nice to have you with us today. And he can see Mr. Scrooge. Okay, so Kasama indicates that, yes, he's been very stuck with his voice. And listen, we've all been there. Hey, Mindy, great to have you here too. So Altu says, I make some progress, then it stops. And then the progress even rewinds back, and then things get better again. I think this is a loop. So, you know, we've all been there. Many of us have experienced the same thing. So we make progress, and then for some reason things slow down, and then we think, maybe I'm doing it wrong, so then we start changing it, and then pretty soon we are doing it wrong, and now we have to go back and revisit what we've done, you know. And I think that happens to the best. I really do. You know, if you know, the greatest athletes in the world, everyone of real accomplishment continues the climb. And I think everybody would say that there are ups and there are downs. You know, if you look at any athletic endeavor, and it's a pretty good comparison. You know, a baseball player will be a star hitter for the whole season, and then when they start the World Series, they can't get a hit. The soccer player will, you know, be great on offense, and then suddenly go cold and not score, or the football, not score any points. You know, it just in every endeavor, the runner, the weightlifter. And so we tend to think that because we talk, we should be able to sing. It should just be like, you know, yeah, I can talk, so why can't I just sing whatever I want to sing? And there are just many facets to singing that, you know, and it's psychological too. And, or maybe we stop practicing, or maybe we get sick. Maybe our voices, maybe we have an allergy. You know, there's some, maybe you get some reflux going. There's just so many things that can set you back, and then you lose. Then your confidence starts to waver, and you've got to perform, and so you go back to what you used to do, and now you're stuck again. I'm in a show right now. Some of you saw my video. I have a little bit of me on stage. Well, guess what happened last night? Twice, my voice cracked. And I wasn't even in the bridge. I was down low. I was down, you know, my chest, and my voice is cracking. I'm not going to let that bother me. Who knows why? Maybe I oversang the night before. You know, it's just, you've got to go back to the basics. You've got to do your warm-ups. I've got to do, you know, I've got to watch, make sure that I'm getting into mix, even bridging early. In lower register, I'm starting to bridge now where the bassos bridge. because I've got a lot of heft in my voice. I'm starting to bridge lower, and so I can apply some of that to what I'm doing. So it's just constant work and constant tweaking. But don't get discouraged by plateaus. We all plateau for a while. Maybe even feels like we're going down because we're not going up. So it's a plateau, and then it'll go up a while, and then you'll plateau again, then you'll have another little breakthrough, and so forth. That's just really, really common. For sure, you can do it. All right, let me see if I can get back to some more. So Subia asked, falsetto and head voice. I'm stuck with both of these. I don't know how to make these strong. Well, Subia, I don't teach falsetto. Falsetto, by my definition, is a disconnected tone. And head voice is a connected tone. So if I can't get a student to go through the bridge and remain in head voice, that is connected tone, it's one of two things is happening. The larynx is coming up, or chest voice is being pulled too high, or both. And so invariably, it's a high larynx. So one way to address this, maybe we could make this exercise number 3, is a gee 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 with a little dopey sound, or even the goo. And it might work something like this. So Subia, if you were doing this, gee 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 gee. What is that counteracting? What is that preventing? And this is one of the exercises for pull chest high larynx. That dopey sound gets the larynx to stay down. And so if I keep that dopey sound, it goes hooty on the top. So I want to stay dopey the whole time to keep the larynx down. Now if I don't, it might sound like this. So the larynx is coming up, you can hear it pinch. Larynx down. Larynx up. So we want it down because it's just too easy for it to, that compressed pinch sound is going to wear us out. And it's going to crack. But now if you can work this in the bridge, ladies, that's the C, here, C sharp, here's the C. B, B flat, A, and really work that so the larynx is staying down. And get it so that in that bridge, that is the A to the C sharp, above high C, above middle C. For the ladies, for the men it would be E, F, F sharp. We work that area in your voice. So in the bridges, you've got the larynx is staying down, and you've got that even straight, vibrato. Then you're going to find that it's going to be easier to go higher. If it's working in the bridge, it's going to apply into head voice. So for the guys, once you hit G, it's head voice. That's for most of us. If Chris is still around, Chris has got a much higher register capability. For the ladies, again, be able to do that at the A, beginning above middle C, or keep that dopey sound going, because that's going to reinforce the larynx staying down. That's the first step. When you're having trouble getting that head voice going, and the trouble is breaking into falsetto. That will counteract that tendency. Okay. Let me see if I can get another. I'm checking my monitor here for comments and questions. So the head voice getting stronger, it's the second part of Subhia's question, is our tendency is to just try and blast it louder. And that's really not the case. The strength and power of the voice comes with development. Just like any muscle. Think about it. If you go into the gym and you can't lift it, or you lift barely, do you think that after an hour workout that you can go in lifting 50 pounds above your head and then leave an hour later lift 100 pounds above your head and then have it forever? It takes weeks, maybe months to build the strength and coordination to get that weight over your head. And it's not much different with the voice. So in terms of progression, it might look like something like this. This is again in the female register from A to the A above middle C. Gee, 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 gee. And it might go on to goo, 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 goo. Go, 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 go. No, 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 no. Mum, 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 mum. Now, ladies, that's your bridge, first bridge. For me, that's head voice. But I couldn't do that I'd say probably for years. But you guys are better than I am. You're faster than I am. And hopefully I'm giving you information here that will help speed up your progress. But if we start pushing, grabbing, squeezing, just belting it louder, it's going to break. You're not going to develop real power. You're going to wear your voice out. Okay. Hi, Demi and Amin. Nice to have you guys with us today. So Mindy says, if you really want to make progress, book a lesson. Oh, well, thank you, Mindy. That's very nice. There's no substitute for Chuck, a coach, hearing what you're doing real time, helping you through the exercises properly. That's been my experience with my own voice. So obviously I endorse what Mindy is saying, not just because of that I would love to teach you, and because I'm going to increase my business and so on and so on. It's a fact. I don't know how people do it online. I need somebody to hear me because I'm not really good at hearing me and diagnosing it. I mean, I can hear it. And I suppose if I really took my time and recorded everything and played everything back, that's a little more time consuming, and it works. That would work. And so that's what I recommend in my course, Sing Higher Than Ever Before. People are doing it on their own. You need to record it and listen to it, or record it, or sing along with something I'm demonstrating, and have someone else listen to it and say, yeah, you're not doing that at all like the way he's doing it. Then, now you've got somebody that's kind of giving you some feedback. But what Mindy is saying is that when it's live and we're working together, I can say, yeah, that was the larynx came up there, and so do this differently, and then get it corrected right there, and have some success doing it, and it's very so much faster. So thanks for that, Mindy. I appreciate that feedback. Waluali, Team Try Hard. Hi, nice to have you with us today. I have a question about influence. What influence had the digastric muscle? So the digastrics, I don't know all the muscles, but I know the digastrics are here. They're connected up here, and they run down to the top of the hyaloid muscle, which is the top of the larynx. And so when I swallow, these muscles fire. You could put your thumb here and swallow, and you'll feel these digastrics kind of push your thumb out. And so the digastrics pull the larynx up, and it fires the epiglottis, I guess, or helps the epiglottis to close and go through the swallowing mode. And so swallowing mode is very important for us. If we didn't do that, then we'd have water running into our lungs, and so the epiglottis covers the lungs so that water and food can pass over that down into the esophagus, which nourishes us, right? And so that's all interrelated, but when we're singing, and if you hum and swallow, or hum, and swallow at the same time, you can't. It cuts the sound off. So what we want to try and do is we can do exercises that eliminate the involvement of the digastrics, or at least minimize it, so that we don't go into swallowing mode, pull the larynx up while we're singing, hike the larynx. And that's probably another day, another video, but it would be something like, you could do it on gee. I would usually do it on something called a little squeaky door. I'm not firing the digastrics on that. And so that's taken me a long time to be able to do that. Okay, so Bruno says, I have success with the first bridge, but start squeezing towards the high C. My second bridge, perhaps. Yeah, the second bridge for gentlemen starts at the A above middle C. It's the ladies' first bridge, it's the men's second bridge. And the C is right in the middle towards the top of that second bridge. And so, Bruno, again, that's one of those situations where I'm going to guess that on one of the vowels or a couple of the vowels in the first bridge, you tend to spread, and it tends to pull up. Because if every vowel is working on every pitch in the first bridge, and there's no tension, and everything's nice and balanced, then usually the second bridge is available to you. So the first thing that I would want to check is all the vowels in the first bridge. Do you have any advice for this area, please? Or is it more of the same exercise you've described? Try not to squeeze or raise the larynx. First bridge. I'd revisit that first. I just haven't met anybody that had a really intact, great first bridge who didn't have the second. I haven't. I can't think of anybody. Usually it's because, and here's the issue. Or maybe they're finally bridging, but they're going in late. The men aren't bridging at the E, maybe even the F, but finally by the F sharp they start the bridge. Well, that's pull. That's a pull on the E, a pull on the F. That's going to affect the second bridge. Ladies, same principle. If you're going into your bridging late, then you're going to have problems on the second. Altu says, I lose chord adduction at D4, E flat 4, and E4. Welcome to the club, Altu. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's happened to. Now, I will say that was a challenge for me for a long time. And I finally got past that. And the way I got past it is by doing everything I'm teaching. I'm trying to teach. But here's the real point. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave here in the next couple minutes. But this is probably a good place to actually end. It wasn't until I eliminated the little extra squeeze. I had a little extra squeeze, a little extra compression around the larynx. And so I've had to really work on getting the ability to get a real release in my voice. And I'm not in great voice right now. The show I'm doing is rather challenging in terms of how I use my voice. Well, let me just see if I can demonstrate release. This is the A flat, which is very top of, it's the top of my, it's right before my second bridge, or in my case, right before my third bridge. Ooh, ma. So if I focus on let go, release, really no tension, and then I kind of press into the feeling of release, I was able to feel some depth of chord kind of kick in. So in other words, it wasn't ooh, mom, ooh, mom, and I was able to kind of get into that a little bit. Once I felt that, I started bringing that same coordination down. Mom, 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 mom. Mom, 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 mom. So Altu and others of you who have this concern, one way to approach this is not directly, always working D, E flat, E4, or ladies, for you would be like the G, the A flat, and the A above middle C, is start up, for the guys, start on the G, start on the A flat, and bring this down. Ladies, you'd start up, even if you started on like a D above high C, or maybe the C sharp. Ooh, ma, ma. And then it's easier to find up high. It's easier to find really in the second or just into your head voice. And then once you find that release and that press into the feeling of release, and there's some, some strength in it, keep that same feeling and bring that down. Here's the E now. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. D. Mum, 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 mum. Now you notice that I'm bringing the feeling of mix down. I'm not saying mum, 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 mum. I'm not doing it in chest. I'm bringing that upper down with me. So I brought that, I found my mix, I kind of lean into it. Mum, 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 mum. The E flat, mum, 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 mum. Ladies, would be the same thing. You get all the way, well, for you that would be down into your chest by now, about mum, mum, mum. Let's say F sharp again, guys. So start above it and do it in two phases, release and then press into the feeling of release almost simultaneously, but as a step number two. Step number one, ooh, mum, 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 mum. And I would probably, for the guys, I'd start at the A flat, maybe even go up until you kind of find this freedom. Mum, 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 ooh, mum, 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 mum. And then you start to feel that and see if you can't duplicate that on each one. Why is it so hard there? Take a guess. It's so hard on the D, the E flat, and the E, because we always do it in chest. It's easier to do it in chest right now. And if you do that, it's harder to, so our natural reflex, automatic reflex is to do it in chest. So we're kind of fighting that area. You have to really, really work to resist the temptation to do it in chest. So I would find mix, I'd bring that mix down to the E, down to the E flat, down to the D. Another way to do that, and then we got to go. Let's just say we're on the let's start it up here on the F sharp. For the men, ladies, you'd start on the C sharp. No, 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 no. Now you don't want to say no, 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 no. That wouldn't work. That's not going to help you to build this middle, this area. No, 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 no. no, 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 no. Keep bringing that feeling down. Keep the no where the new was. No, 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 no. And that's going to help altitude. That's going to address that issue of building strength at the D, the E flat, and the E. Okay, well, dang it. I lost 10 minutes through technical difficulties, but I've got to get ready for my next student coming in about 9 minutes. So let me just see here. Eugene says, what typical mistakes do your students do in pole chest exercises? Number one, they do it too loud. They're singing, and so they think, well, I'll go softer. I'm not kidding you. I've had students who I've worked with right on Skype, and I say, cut that volume in half, and they cut it by an eighth. We're so used to singing loud so that we don't crack or something that we just can't bring ourselves to let up on the volume. That's I'd say that's the biggest mistake, because if we sing it too loud, then the vocal cords have to hold back a lot of air, which in turn creates a lot of tension, and we just can't get the balance we need. So start really, I would start almost, there's no harm in starting pianissimo, very soft. And then if it's working, it's holding, go to piano, soft. And then go to, I don't know, medium soft or medium, barely medium loud, and progress that way. Take it way down in volume. I would say that'd make a big difference. So Darren asked, so do you have any advice for dealing with what others think about your singing voice? Yeah, you know what, Darren, I found out that I'm never going to be able to please everybody. I don't like everybody's voice, you know, but I'll tell you a story. I told somebody one time I liked Barbra Streisand, which I think is a fantastic singer and performer, actress. And they said to me, I don't like her voice at all. And I thought, what? How could you say that? You know, why wouldn't you like it? There are a lot of people who don't like Barbra Streisand. A lot of people don't like Lady Gaga, who has like 80 million followers or something, you know, 70 million followers on Twitter. A lot of people don't like Pavarotti. He's the best. You know, he was the best in his time and his particular genre. And I suddenly realized, I don't like everybody's voice or their music. And so I just accept the fact that probably maybe 10 to 20% really like my voice. And the rest of the people could take it or leave it. You know, some people are okay with it. Some people are like, I don't even know him. And some people are going to say, I wish I was coming on a different night to see him or see the performance, you know. So I just have begun to accept the fact that I'm going to be singing for that niche of people who like my voice. That's who I'm singing to. Now there's some videos to that effect. You can look up on my website at powertosing.com. And if you go to the Knowledge Center, you can search categories. Look for confidence, singing confidence videos. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging around, and sorry I couldn't get to every question. You know what? If the problem with the live videos is that the comments disappear. If you have a question that you want me to address, I would be happy to do that. Just when this video loads again and is available on my channel, my YouTube channel, go back in and put your comment and question there, and I will answer it for you, or I'll give you a reference. Okay? So thank you very much. This is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Thank you. All the best to you. Bye-bye.